Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, I just want a life that is worth every day exploring, My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
All right, here we go. Bristol Motor Speedway, virtually on iRacing, his home of round number 3 of 5 in the race for the championship in the 811 Cup Series season, as we welcome you in to what is one of many wild cards you are going to see within the next 10 rounds, or next 8 rounds, I should say now, for the race for the championship. It is the half-mile Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, virtually on iRacing, we welcome you in tonight to round number 3 of the playoffs, race 29 of the season. It is here at the Last Great Coliseum. A lot of great things going to happen tonight. We're going to see some great racing. We're going to see some unhappy people, likely. I don't know if that's so great. Maybe it is for entertainment purposes. But either way, the racing tonight is going to be great. Let's take a look at the point standings. Entering tonight's race, as Pedro Mojica leads by 13 over Josh Parker. Yep, the same Pedro Mojica that won his second consecutive Grand National Championship last night. He leads here by 13 over Josh Parker, David Comstock, Mike Kelly, Nelson Rivera. Your top 5. A reminder that the playoffs here are a little bit different than the normal Cup Series here. 20 drivers enter, and there is one elimination round, and it is all the way down at race number 5. At race 5, half the field goes bye-bye, and 10 drivers race for the championship for 5 straight weeks. So we're at race number 3 of the first round here tonight. And as you see, there's a very tight battle right there at that 10th position. The elimination is there, and there's a lot of drivers trying to get above that mark. 60 points is Jose Gonzalez there behind the leader, but he's only 2 behind Coleman. Cal Tony is only 6 behind, so is Van Schaik and Doug Roth. Wesley Donaldson is 7 behind. Beasley's right there. And then once you get to Brian Macklin, it kind of does open up a little bit. Of course, Mike Montesi missed the first race of the playoffs. That's why he's so far down. Doy Woods looking down. He's probably bottom 4. Need to get some luck if they're going to get back into the playoff race here. But still, anybody up here, look at the top here. Mike Kelly in 4th sits only 17 points above Chad Coleman. So this race tonight could be a big wild card when it's all said and done this evening. But first, we have to qualify for the race, and as always, qualifying tonight presented by 811. No, it's below call before you dig. And qualifying, well, it's going to be fast, and it's going to be really quick as these cars get out there on the track. And let's go get the boss man. He's already on track here in his number 14. And let's see what kind of mark he can leave here as he comes out turn 4, gets a little free. Want to get that car up there across the boards. I see middle. He gets a little tight there. It's going to be in the wall. That's going to kill his second lap. That was actually his first lap. He's got to keep going here because the second lap is going to be the one that you're going to want to get around this track with. Crosses the line. First lap won't count, so I won't even read a lap off. As he turns it low off turn 2, Robert Friery, 14.67. The pole lap right now, as you see Joey go to the bottom here this time. Slides up through the middle. Mojica, 14.62. And for Joey, 14.95. He is P6. As times start to come in really quickly here, let's go Scott Simley to Heineken, number 12. Down the back straightaway he goes. And off turn 4, pretty clean lap there as Scott goes to 4th, 14.71. Tyler Dalton to the pole, 14:53. There's your timing and scoring for those wondering where it's at. Josh Parker, 15:17 right now. All right, so Tyler Dalton on the pole as we wrap up qualifying here. Of course, presented by 811. Know what's below. Call before you dig. Brian Macklin jumps up to second. He is going to be one to watch here, I think, this evening. 14:54. So great lap for the 30 car. Everybody, for the most part, looks like EJ O'Rourke last minute show up as he almost hits the wall there and maybe did. Goes 15:04 for his lap. And looks like 5 cars not going to qualify out of the 30-car field that's going to show up here and go racing at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Congratulations, Tyler Dalton, going to sweep the race weekend when it comes to the polls. And if that's any sign of what's to come, he will finish in second tonight, maybe, like he did last night at the worst. I'm trying to give him some good luck here. Qualifying going to wrap up here in about 20 seconds, so let's step away real quickly as warm-up's going to come up and get you ready for the race here from Bristol as you're watching the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on NC811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back we are here at the Bristol Motor Speedway virtually on iRacing as we get you ready for the race itself. 180 laps here tonight. Going to make up the action, so this race is going to fly by really quickly. And let's get our pole sitter up here to join us here again tonight. Tyler Dalton joins us. Great job on the pole once again here this evening, edging out Brian Macklin. But tonight, going to be a little different wording, basically, when it comes to the key to this race tonight. It's not going to be the fuel and the long runs. It's going to be the tires.
Yeah, tires definitely going to make a difference. It's going to be interesting to see if we get a long enough run for the tires to really show up or not. Pole tonight, honestly, was a little bit shocking. We ran here Thursday, and I know Tommy was way faster. It looked like maybe he had some issues on his second lap.
Well, still worked out for you in the end. Obviously, get a chance to get that number one pit stall, which is important on a single pit lane, which is going to be tricky. So how do we make it one stop better than we did last night?
Just got to go out there and try to manage the tires without giving up too much track position.
There you go, man. Well, hey, best of luck here, and let's go win a Bristol race.
Thank you.
And that's Tyler Dalton, the Pole sitter tonight here from Bristol, as we'll take a look at the starting lineup for this 180-lap race. 14.525 the pole, a little slower than they were running in practice. I'm sure, actually, believe it or not, draft played a role in that. Brian Macklin will start there on the outside pole. Jose Gonzalez and Steve Ritter in row number 2. Row 3, there's the Grand National Series champion looking to go and get the Cup Series title here this season. Pedro Mojica and Scott Simley, who needs a pretty big run tonight to get himself back in the championship race. Kevin Brown, Richard Beasley there in row 4. Row 5, Chad Coleman and Robert Friery III in the 10th position. Nelson Rivera and Mike Kelly, they're in row number 6. Row 7 is Scott Stenzel, Joe Hudson. Row number 8, Wesley Donaldson and Glenn Campbell. Josh Parker, Randy Oakham there in row number 9. Row 10, Anthony Calantoni and Seth Foudy. Those guys seem to be friends with each other pretty well, or never mind, I'm getting Seth mixed up with another person. But anyways, they're starting 19th and 20th. 21st, Joey Jacina, Jeff Ryan in 22nd. Doug Roth and E.J. O'Rourke in row number 14. Row 15 is where you'll see Brian Wortman and Gerald Livingston, the final of the 30 drivers. That'll start the race tonight. They'll get 2 pace laps, and this is what it looks like around Bristol. The usual iRacing default, which we're under the lights, so obviously the temp is going to go down track temp-wise and throughout the evening, so it is the iRacing default weather, but it's obviously a little bit cooler than it usually is in a Bristol race when it's during the daytime. Pace laps fly by here really quickly, and of course our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. They are using the single pit road, so that means you have to enter no matter what off turn 2 all the way around to turn 1. If you get a green flag penalty, you might as well say goodbye to this race. You will lose at least 4 laps going down pit road. Pace car pulls off as Tyler Dalton and Brian Macklin will lead him to the green flag. The Bristol Night Race Sim500 edition underway. Right off the bat, Macklin had a great start, and he and Dalton side by side across the line. Give it to Macklin. Jose Gonzalez third in the battle side by side. Scott Simley, Richard Beasley also in that battle along with Steve Ritter. Dalton leading that lap. See, Simley is cleared for the 4th position there. Beasley's cleared for 5th. Mojica there at 6th. Brian all the way up against the boards almost. Getting that run and getting the lead. As caution going to come out, wrecking over here in turn 1. Robert Friery, Randy Oakham. And I'm only counting 2 cars right now. In the first caution. See what happens. Ooh, Robert gets a little loose off turn 4, overcorrects into the outside wall, and Randy, there he is. It looks like maybe he spun around himself as he tried to check up. Not sure he got into him. Let's see if we can see what happened here behind. Ooh, Joey got into him. Oh, no harm, no foul. Looks like both of them lock it down. Good job on Randy's part there. It's a little frustrating when that happens, but he did a good job locking it down. As for Friery, a little bit of damage maybe to the left side from hitting the outside wall. And going to see cars come down pit road. Yoakum, Van Schaik, Wertman, and Gerald Livingston. I was very cautious in my thoughts as I thought about it today. Working on stuff here at the house of what this race was going to turn out to be, because you obviously look at Sim500 being one of the best fixed racing leagues in all of iRacing, and you get them out here on a track like Bristol, and you're like, okay, you think this could go green for a little bit and have some green flag runs, and it still could. But then you're like, you know what? It's Bristol. Bristol will determine when it has long green flag runs. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's like Darlington. Darlington picks the winner each week when there's a race at that track. Bristol picks when the cautions come out. So Dalton going to take the bottom side here as we come to the green. 8 laps in already. Should mention our good friend Kevin England will be back with us next week. He is still on assignment doing what he has to do personally wise, and he'll be back next week. Look forward to having him back with me. He does a great job on Monday nights calling a race with me as Macklin gets to jump on the outside lane as he was the leader. I think I said that mistakenly. Dalton was still the leader. It was actually Macklin. Simley going to get the run on the outside lane. Jose Gonzalez is in that dreaded inside lane second row. That seems to lose all the track position when a green flag restart comes. Jose gets back in line, 5th position. They're right in front of Kevin DeBrown as Macklin under attack. Here comes Tyler Dalton. Scott Simley also. Ooh, you see Tyler getting a little loose as they go into 3 and 4. You can just see the different grooves going to work. Let's go back here as Nelson Rivera battling with Chad Coleman. He has cleared him for position. The Georgia driver there in that Jim Beam, number 38. Behind him, Scott Stenzel. There's Anthony Calantoni, Joey Jatina. You can already see the track kind of rubbering up a little bit, as it usually does at this point in the race. Now here's a cool looking paint scheme right here. Joe Hudson running the Spears number 15 car. If you did not see the story, Wayne Spears, the owner of what was the team that run Hornaday, Kevin Harvick, and a couple other drivers off the top of my head I cannot think of, drove his Southwestern car at the time. K&N was the series name, I believe, and then also the truck team that entered races back for Kevin Harvick and stuff passed away this past weekend, if not late last week. So it's cool to see that tribute car on the track. You always knew when there was a Spears car in the race, because that was the paint scheme right there every week. Let's go up here for third. Mojica making moves. It's already passed Gonzalez for fourth. Now trying to get around Simley for third. And he is simply painting that line down at the bottom. Well, there's not a line there, but you know what I mean. Gonzalez trying to hold on there, trying to stay on the right rear. If you can keep him sliding up the track, you can keep him from taking that position away. Is up front, battle for the lead as Dalton. Ooh, I think Backlund led that by inches. Oh, Tyler almost had to get out of the gas there. Almost ran him over. Very easy to get tight off these corners. The car that's fallen back is this 38 car, Chad Coleman. Now, I heard them talking earlier that tire preservation is going to be key tonight, because you will burn the tires off really quickly. I bring up a race from last fall, not this past, but last fall, 2022. I was leading a 500-lap race here at Bristol in iRacing, and had a guy come to pit road at 100 to go. We went green all the way around during that run. I had pitted at like 140 or 150 to go, and the other guy came in at 100 to go and actually caught me from 2 laps back and won the race on those tires. That's how important tires are going to be here. E.J. O'Rourke ripping the Rourke lane, if you will, as he goes outside and is going to pass Coleman for position. Macklin still holding on to the lead on Dalton by about 2/10 right now. Keep an eye on that battle just in case it does brew back up. Back up front, these guys really have not gotten away from each other at all. Top 6, 7, 8 cars all within 2 seconds. Mike Kelly also in that battle. You see the top 9 within 2.5, and then you got Wesley Donaldson almost 3 seconds off. And 3 seconds at Bristol, it's like a straightaway. Laps around here at 14.9, 15 seconds right now. Divide that by 4. Once you put 4 quadrants on the track, you can figure out the math really quickly. It's about 3.5 seconds on the track on each straightaway. All right, got the onboard camera, by the way, again for you tonight. Seth Foudy is provided. Let's watch him on the struggle bus tonight, boys. He's got his orange shirt on. Ooh, a little shifting. How do you have time to shift? Yeah, he's pretty much driving one-handed around Bristol. That's a new one. Seth, stop shifting. All right, we need somebody to grab a white piece of tape and put it on the top of the shirt of Seth's. It looked like the green or the orange cone. Wonder how much that's really helping him right now with the. Man, look at him fight. I mean, he's got Chad right there on him. I mean, this is not easy right now for him. I mean, getting around this track alone is just hard enough trying to turn the wheel. I mean, I don't have force feedback when I race it in these races, believe it or not. I purposely turn it off, and my arm still cramps when I'm done at Bristol. Up front, Tyler Dalton has gone to the lead. And Pedro Mojica's fallen back to 5th. Jose got back around him. Macklin trying to work that bottom lane. Again, it's progressive banking here at Bristol. Ever since early to mid-2000s, they repaved the track, redid the track, and pretty much made everyone mad. And they put the progressive banking on the track, and that's what's turned it into this multi-grooved racetrack. Of course, back in the heyday, if you go watch one of the classic Bristol races, you put that car on the bottom and you didn't move off it unless somebody did it for you. And I'm not talking about putting your car in the bottom lane, I mean moving you. Wesley Donaldson under attack is... That's Calatoni going around for position. That's the 10th spot. Doug Roth back there, that 43 car, trying to put some pressure on Jatina. That is 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Trying to show you some other parts of the race going on. There's some good battles everywhere. Van Schaik and Rivera's going backwards now. He's got Tommy Ryan behind him. That's back at 20th. Uh-oh. Problem is with all these battles going on, we got the main battle up here at the front right now. I mean, you got 4 cars, 5 cars under a blanket here. And you see lap traffic up ahead. One thing you don't usually get to hear much of in this series. Lap traffic. Tyler doing a good job keeping distance on Macklin. There he is there, the personal comfort number 30. Brian Wertman, I think he was just more getting off the track than coming to pit road with the leaders coming. I mean, Macklin's doing everything he can right here. They've put a lap on Jeff Ryan. That was why you saw them kind of look like they went to the bottom. They were actually 3 wide as we were showing that. And then you got this battle back here with Friery and Stenzel and Tommy Ryan, Josh Parker, who's having a struggle right now himself. Glenn Campbell. There's action everywhere right now. Mike Kelly coming into the picture in that 2 car. Like on my stream or like personally? Maybe I don't have the loud enough volume. I don't know. Turn it up a little bit, see if that helps. Oh, caution. Caution on the track. Well, you're the only person that said anything, Bob, so much appreciated if so. I mean, some races, I guess, with the cameras are a little bit quieter than others. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe Scott Stenzel? It doesn't give me any word of who spun. But second caution waves at lap 56. And oh, there we go. Stenzel off the nose of Campbell. How do you spin at Bristol and not hit anything outside of... That was a new one. I mean, usually you get the infield wall, you're hitting it. So I need to make a note then, because I think that's the 2nd or 3rd time I've heard that about Bristol. You would think, I guess we're just so used to this track being so much louder than everybody, that you think that the volume would be loud, and it's not apparently. So I will fix that. Good catch. Thank you. Meanwhile, Ryan X9 sleeping. I think I get the joke there, but... That would not surprise me. All right, tires and fuel for the field. Race off pit road, Dalton with ease, and Stenzel, Gonzalez, and Kelly. Where's Macklin? Macklin, long stop on pit road. I say that, he only had a 15.38. Uh-oh. All right, under caution, lap number 59 here at Bristol. Let's step away and hear a word from our sponsors. You're watching the 811 Cup Series from Sim500 on the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on NC811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, 60 laps complete as we're back at Bristol. Looks like Jeff Ryan going to take the wave around. He's going to, or not Jeff Ryan, sorry, Gerald Livingston there in the 96 going to take the wave around. As we'll come back to green with 26 cars on the lead lap. So Bentley Glazier showed up, and I got to come up with something creative. Maybe he's racing the Roblox across the street over at the drag strip. Got a few people I know that do that. I'm like, you mean the Lego cars? All right, so imagine today, Bob Gillenwater, you know exactly what this is like. Going to a race at Bristol. If you've never done it, this is the closest experience I can ever get you. Right here. I'm going to be quiet for a second and let you enjoy the restart. Now, Bob, just answer this question: how much more on the octaves are we looking at compared to like in real life? I'm sure it's you can't even get to that number. Oh my gosh, decibels. That's the word I was thinking of. Oh, Steve Ritter with some issues. He's off the pace here in that leaf guard number 16. As Dalton leads, Kevin DeBrown now making an appearance into the top three. So Brian Macklin had a penalty. He had to serve. He is back in 20th right now. Started at the rear of the field after what was likely speeding on pit road. Anthony Calatoni up to the 7th position. You see Kevin DeBrown has fallen back. How about E.J. O'Rourke started all the way back in the 24th position. Well, you'll sleep well tonight. Oh, EJ got a good run off of 4 there. Almost ran over Calantoni. EJ making that top groove work, surprisingly. I say that sarcastically. This field is so tight together right now. Literally from 1st to 22nd, there is not more than 0.3 of a second separation between any car. Oh, 10-4 there, of course, I forget his dadgum name. The ARCA guy that's pretty much lapping everybody every week and winning. Joey Jettina, speaking of ARCA, former ARCA driver. Joey Jettina there, 14 car outside of Tommy Ryan, passes him. Gonna go outside of Kevin DeBrown, goes by him also. Up to the 8th spot goes to 14. There's the tied ride, Richard Beasley. Where's his fan club at when we need him? Chad Coleman back there. You see Macklin, that 30 car right behind the 91 of Wesley Donaldson. You see where the inside lane kind of checks up. Everybody's got to kind of find their own way around. There's Macklin outside of Donaldson right there. Senzel going to go around with him. I mean, that right there shows you what Bristol is. That is awesome right there. Somebody's driving angry in that 30 car right now. So top 3 have separated themselves out a little bit on Scott Simley, and then there's a big group, or a big space, I should say, back to Pedro Mojica, who is 2.2 seconds back. And I have a feeling Pedro is doing this on purpose right here. He is literally painting the bottom to save tires for the long run of this race. Does not surprise me to see somebody doing that. I did talk to a couple drivers that said that actually Thursday in the GOAT race, because the GOAT series that runs on Thursdays mimics the race on Monday. So a lot of people on Thursday did that exact strategy. And later on in the run, we're actually a lot faster, apparently. So we'll have to see how fast Pedro becomes running that bottom side like that. Macklin back up to the 9th position, by the way. Just got past Beasley, tracking down Joey Jettina. Gerald Livingston is taking his car behind the wall, and Mike Kelly is taking his car to P2 and looks to get around Tyler Dalton for P1. Jose Gonzalez right there behind him. This is the track. I'm going to double check myself here before I say what I'm going to say. Go back to last season's fall race here at Bristol. It was a 200 lap race that Daniel Falkingham won. if I remember correctly, maybe it was on the Grand National side, but I remember Jose Gonzalez actually has a win here at Bristol. That's where I was going with this whole thing. As caution is out, and Randy Yoakum, oh, these two, Friery and Yoakum again. And Doug Sigmund this time involved. Yoakum got a punched in nose. Robert tries to stick it in there 3 wide. And a little bit of net code, and there's some contact. And then Doug Sigmund, nowhere to go, unfortunately. Just aggression, people trying to get around other, maybe racing a little bit angry at the moment. We do got some cars coming to pit road, some staying out. So here we go with the split Bristol strategy that happens all the time. I want to go back real quickly before I go live. I'm go on board with Doug Sigmund. You always hear about the ARCA braking and things like that. Well, there's a difference here. This is Bristol. You're going so fast around this track. This is how hard it is to miss a wreck. It's happening up ahead. He's so committed, though. The top line, uh-oh. So caution out, and from what I am seeing, the top 12 car is going to stay out here, as Tyler Dalton going to be the leader coming off pit road. Talk to the driver here in second right now. Scott Simley, get a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Fargo! I never knew you were from there. Side note. Main reason I want to check with you, man. Obviously, tonight, big night for you, obviously, as you try to work your way back into the playoff race here. Running P2 and been up here in the top 5 almost all night. How we feeling about this Heineken truck or car or whatever this thing is?
Yeah, it feels good. I ran the practice race on Thursday, but I missed the first race. I was working, ended up working a couple hours late, so I'm behind the 8 ball. So got to try to do something here.
Well, Chad Canales has got you focused, it sounds like. So obviously about to go green here. So how tough is it down in that bottom lane there on a restart?
Yeah, you got to watch that bottom. It's loose.
All right, man. Good luck. Scott Simley restarting second position. We get him back to his channel. Turn 1 Heroes. There he goes. Yeah, I learned last night. He's from Fargo, North Dakota. All right, coming to the green, lap number 96. Inside lane did not go. Bob Gillenwater, this one's for you, buddy. Turn it up. Everybody check your eardrums. Gonzalez lead by 7/10 over EJ O'Rourke. Scott Simley third, Pedro Mojica fourth. The best one, the first car I should say on fresh tires, is O'Rourke. About 7/10 of a second back. As Campbell and Coleman battle each other. There's Chatina right there in it also. Oh, trouble. Scott Stenzel has spun. Doug Roth, another car, but they kept it straight. No caution. Ooh, Doug got the inside wall, and they both spun. Both of them kept it fairly straight. I was checking. All right. I don't get a chance to really listen to my broadcast much or whatever. I'm one of those, like, I don't know. I just feel uncomfortable listening to my voice, or I'm going to hear something and be like, you piece of garbage. What the hell are you saying? Type of things, you know? Like, I've always cringed when I listen to my own, like, air checks and stuff on when I was doing radio. Up front, guess who's back? Brian Macklin to the lead. I thought it was going to be O'Rourke who got up there first, but here comes Macklin. Macklin up to the lead, O'Kelly. Kelly's going to try to get around Gonzalez here. O'Rourke behind them, and there he goes with ease to second. This is your difference in tires right here. Remember, 3 sets of tires, so a lot of these guys are likely down to one. Set up into the wall goes the 44 Campbell. And I think there was some net code involved in that. And somebody explain to me how only one car got in that. Oh, big net code. I mean, where are they going to hit? That's a great question. And nobody else got involved in this. That was literally at the front of the field. So if you're the car now that did not pit in that last caution, you are coming to pit road right now. You know, what I do find weird, I want to show this replay in slow-mo now. Watch EJ when he comes off turn 4 here. It's like he turns the car left for a second here. Right there. Not like I'm trying to say he turned down into him. Not that at all. But it just looked kind of weird how he turned off the wall almost, if you will. But I mean, look at these 3 wide there below him trying to get around him. There's Tommy Ryan with inches. See if I can get us a better angle of the 41. I'd say he's getting tight. Safer barrier ends, and it's like he cuts the wheel left. Right there, almost. They're trying to save it maybe, and yeah, there's the net code, by far. Now, I was fair to say they wasn't going to touch, but look at Simley here, jumping on the brakes. Do, 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 do. 12 car. He came to pit road. No personal comfort in that move. Holy cow. All right, so let's recap before we get the green flag here. So now, it looks like from 11th on back, came to pit road. So, E.J. O'Rourke, Jose Gonzalez, Scott Simley, Pedro Mojica, Tommy Ryan, Chad Coleman, Nelson Rivera, Josh Parker, Joe Hudson, Wesley Donaldson, Kevin DeBrown, Richard Beasley, Robert Fryerty III, and the Tooth Fairy all came to pit road there for 4 tires and fuel. Fourth caution with 60 laps to go. If you have not gone to the bathroom yet or gotten some popcorn, you need to go do so now. Yeah, he is. All right, coming back to the green. Macklin and Kelly and Dalton and Jatina and Ritter, your top 5. Macklin's been fast, but I'll tell you this, Mike Kelly's been good on a long run. So do not be surprised that 2 car makes a run here at Macklin. That's a gaggle. Van Schaik looking to make some moves in the plows. Jeff Ryan, 7th position here. Doug Sigmund up to 9th after being involved in that wreck a little bit ago. Patience, a big virtue right here. And if you're Pedro Mojica right now, you've got everything possible to lose. So you got to be very patient. One bad incident for that 58 car, and you could have 15 drivers all of a sudden in the running for the top spot in the playoff points. That's how tight it is right now. Oh, contact back there. And both save it. I think it's Tommy Ryan, and that might have been Stenzel. It was Stenzel back there. I still think they're back there trying to save it. Actually, no, Tommy's on pit road right now. Not sure what that's about. See if we can go back real quickly and get that replay. Happened about right here. This Tommy must have had something wrong. Oh! He must have got a meatball. Something must have broken that car, if I had to guess, outside of traction. There's O'Rourke underneath Calantoni for the 6th spot. So early in this race, we watched Seth Foudy on his camera was doing all types of shifting and everything out there. watch this little battle here. We'll go back to him here in a second and see now at 136 as he's shifting. But he was battling with Chad Coleman. He was shifting and doing everything. I'm like, man, this guy's going to hurt himself here in a second. There's Seth in the one car. Let's check him out real quick. Yeah, there's a different angle of his camera. Yeah, he ain't shifting anymore, is he? That stopped real quick. He's trying to get himself to be in the first car lap down, and him and Campbell come together. Kevin DeBrown, everybody saving it so far. Stenzel on the Foudy in parking lot. Yep, there goes Yoakum. There's going to be the caution. And right there in our living rooms, an incident with Seth Foudy, unfortunately. That was a 10-minute wreck that finally broke out. This actually starts with Foudy way over here. I don't know why it had O'Rourke wrecking. It pretty much starts here with Sigmund and Campbell. Foudy tries to stick it in there, and then Kevin DeBrown's on her also. They hit, and then these two hit, and then Campbell goes back down, hits Kevin, and then meanwhile, the victim of this whole thing is the 8 of Randy Yoakum, who goes for a lazy spin. And everybody is on pit road now, so let me actually cut to that real quick. I say everybody. 3/4 of the field is on pit road. Jose Gonzalez, Joe Hudson, Kevin DeBrown, Nelson Rivera, all staying out. Those 4. The rest of the field is here. Macklin wins the race off pit road. All right, let's go back to it now, where Randy Yoakum unfortunately becomes a victim of circumstances. Roth just comes in there hot. All right, 38 laps to go. Let's step away one quick second here. Let's hear from 811 as we get ready for the green flag. Sim500 here on the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on NC811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back we are down the back straightaway, 37 laps to go. The top 4 cars have not pitted under that last caution. So that means Jose Gonzalez, Joe Hudson, Nelson Rivera, and Kevin DeBrown going to be the top 4 as we come to the green flag as the pace car pulls off. And with 36 laps to go, here we go. Tyler Dalton putting it 3 wide. Oh, him and Macklin almost hit each other there. Nice job by Macklin to miss that. That could have been really bad. Joe Hudson up to second in that Spears car. Gonzalez just ran a 14:60, fastest lap of the race up front. He is trying to run. Macklin got a super run through 3 and 4 there. I mean, all but pushed Mojica down the straightaway. Oh, you were clear there for a second. Dalton had a chance to get up there. Now Kevin DeBrown, though, Mojica's outside. Almost 3 wide there with Macklin. Coleman looking to make moves. You see Dalton and Jatina and then Mike Kelly, Richard Beasley as that freight train starting to form up there on the top side. Top 4 still the cars on the older tires. That kind of shocks me a little bit here. Mojica getting around Kevin DeBrown. That's for 4th. Mojica to 3rd on the bottom. Here comes Chad Coleman, who's been hanging out mid-pack. Now you're starting to see the newer tires come to work as Mojica going to move to 2nd. Oh my gosh. How did they not wreck right there? Contact, 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 more contact. Kevin DeBrown's around. Tyler Dalton in a big wreck here. Track blocker. A lot of playoff drivers involved in this one. Parker, Dalton, Mike Kelly. Alan Toney getting some damage in this. All right, that might have been more of them stopping. I'm sorry. Let me back that up a little more. Right here. Donaldson gets into Kevin. Parker hits Donaldson back into Kevin. Kevin's going to go around and E.J. O'Rourke, Scott Simley, Van Schaik, add Stenzel to it. Get the piece of Ritter in there. The pace car even gets in it. Good job. Majority of the there's 3 cars up there. Sigmund, Ryan, Jeff that is, and Randy Yoakum stopping on the track to let them separate themselves. So what this does now is open up the window for those cars that have the tires left. They're coming to pit road now. Jose Gonzalez, Kevin Brown are coming back for tires. I just don't know if you had a long enough run there. "16 laps to go. And what has definitely lived up to its name, Bristol. And the strategy's in play again. Of course, this is round 3 of the first round of the playoffs. Out of 5 races next week, it's the Texas Motor Speedway, which is a Dash for Cash qualifying race. So we'll enjoy Texas next week. The Legacy Texas, oh, by the way. So we're not going to run the new Texas. We're running the old Texas next Monday night. As Mojica, the leader on the bottom side, Joe Hudson missing a shift or something here, having some issues. Him and Macklin get up in the wall there for a second. And he's still off the pace. Chad Coleman up to second, Calantoni the third, Jatina up to fourth. Steve Ritter up to the 6th spot. O'Rourke, Nelson Rivera, and Hudson fell all the way back to the 9th position after that. As the fresh tires trying to find their way through the field here, the fresher tires, I should say. The first one on the freshest tires from that last stop is Kevin Brown, and he's only up to the 16th position. There he is right there. Jose Gonzalez right behind him. I think they waited too long, unfortunately. O'Rourke passing Jatina for the 5th position. Everybody else side by side back here is Ritter with some issues. Oh, now Ritter's loose. And then contact with Kelly and Hudson, who then doors Beasley, and there they go. It's Bristol. That looked like Hudson went down there to, I don't want to say he went down to defend, but trying to run the bottom lane there. And I don't think Kelly was happy about that. And, well, he gave him a little hello. How you doing, tap. I think Kelly's going to feel like Hudson was pushing him down. Stenzel, great job getting out of that. Dalton goes flying through. Gonzalez goes to pit, or almost to pit road to miss that. Pretty sure Hudson's not going to be happy about that move. So we should still get a green in regulation time here. As we have 5 laps to go, I would say probably we might get an actual traditional green-white checker finish here. Or at least an attempt at it. All right, my favorite Bristol question I like to ask at this point. If you've watched my streams a lot, you know my question. They done wrecking? All right, so Mojica has the outside lane for the restart. Coleman down there in the bottom. Calantoni's going to have a legit chance here if he can get on the tail of Mojica in time to start. Problem is Mojica is so far ahead of Coleman that Calantoni's got to be careful not to be ahead of Coleman on this restart. Okay, Coleman pulls up there. That helps. Now if I'm Calantoni, I'm on Mojica's tail. As we go green, 2 laps to go. Coleman with a big run, topside. And final lap. Through 3 and 4, the hot streak continues as Pedro Mojica adds the Bristol Night Race to his list of wins. As they're wrecking in front of him and now behind him. There was a pileup in turn 1 as Calantoni ends up 3rd behind Coleman, and we got Junk City over here in the backstretch. Macklin ends up 4th, Joey Gittino with a top 5. Man just wins. He parks it there at the start-finish line, and what in the world happened off turn 4? Oh, apparently there was a pileup of some sorts as they were coming to the white flag. Oh, there's Jose Gonzalez. A bunch of cars involved. Tyler Dalton. Seth Foudy gets turned. And mind you, it's only a 15-second lap around Bristol, so guess what's coming? The leaders to the finish. What in the world? And the wreck continued on the backstretch. Off. Poor Werman. It's thumped. Off. More thumping. Ooh, Parker got tapped. That didn't help things. Didn't Dalton? Okay, that kind of... Whoever got in the back of Parker. Well, here come the leaders. The question, who got into Parker? Van Schaik, it looks like. So earlier, Casey Carrington said in chat that was the longest developing caution of all time. Does this qualify as a long developing caution that never happened? Oh, there's actually a little comedy in that somewhere. All right, finishing order. As Mojica wins it by 2/10 over Chad Coleman. Anthony Calatoni third, Brian Macklin and Joey Jettina ends up in the top 5 with EJ O'Rourke, Nelson Rivera. Scott Stenzel, Mike Kelly ends up 9th with Wesley Donaldson 10th, Charles Van Schaik 11th, Kevin DeBrown 12th, Doug Sigmund 13th, Richard Beasley and Robert Fiery to 3rd, end up your top 15. Scott Simley, Joe Hudson, Jose Gonzalez only gets up to the 18th position. These guys were all in that wreck, by the way, at the turn 1 area of the last lap. 19th, Jeff Ryan, Josh Parker 20th, Tyler Dalton 21st, Steve Ritter 22nd, Seth Foudy 23rd, Doug Roth, Randy Yoakum, Brian Wortman, Glenn Campbell, Tommy Ryan finishes 28th, 29th, Gerald Livingston 30th, and apparently is still out there somewhere in the Appalachians. Bentley Glacier. All right, after that wildness, let's talk to our top 3 finishers. Let's start with Anthony Calantoni, who is somewhere. Oh, he's up here in the waiting room. He's up here waiting on me in the waiting room. How nice of a guy that is. Anthony Calantoni finishes in the 3rd position right in the race, and congratulations, as I know that was a wild one.
Yeah. Can you say it's Bristol, baby?
Yeah, I'd say so. That was definitely wild, and I think it's the first time, at least I've been around, to see everybody pretty much playing chicken going across the line because they knew wreck was in front of them.
To be honest with you, I didn't even see the wreck going into turn 1 there.
Well, either way, that's probably a good thing. You finish 3rd here tonight and get a good points night.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we needed after the technical issues last week in Kansas. And yeah, we just kind of hung around there, Chris, for the whole 3/4 of the race there. Saved my tires. We started running them other guys down in the top 7, and then that first or second yellow came. I think it was the second yellow came out, and then it was just kind of a strategy game there after that.
Yeah, definitely played out for you here this evening, and of course getting that great 3rd place finish. When's Darren Waller going to wake up?
I don't know. I haven't watched the game.
Okay.
I've been driving.
I noticed, but I'm just figured you'd know my answer. Side note. All right, back to the race. So obviously, to come out of Bristol here, go into some more technical tracks like Texas next week. I'm sure that's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm pretty confident in the mile and a halves. I'm usually pretty decent there, top 10 or so. Um, and then we got Talladega in this round, Chris.
I believe it is the finale of this round. Let me double check
Oh,
it
that
right here. Yes, it is.
that's scary. Then and then hopefully we could just build up enough points to stay in the top 10 here. Hopefully this is going to help so that when we go into Talladega, we can afford to have a bad finish, or hopefully be finishing at the race, but towards the tail end. But of course, we're not going to hope for that to happen.
Nah, and I know a guy that might be able to help you get a win there. So, but anyways, congratulations. Send a shout out whoever you'd like to.
Well, of course, I gotta thank the Talking Giants crew, John Boy Media, you for the broadcast, and NC811 for the sponsorship of the series, and all the sponsors of Sim500 and the league. We couldn't do this really without all those guys, and this is just a hobby for all of us, and they kind of make it possible for us all. So, and the fans for watching.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight, finishing third, and go enjoy.
Thanks, Chris. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Anthony Calantoni, third place finisher here tonight at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. For him, another top 5 finish, if you will. I was about to say top 10, but nah. Give him the credit. Top 5 finish for the man. All right, let's get our runner-up here. Mr. Coleman survives, as Chad Coleman finishes in the second position tonight. Chad, for a little bit of that race, man, it looked like the struggle bus was out there on your car tonight, as you were running like 15th to 20th, it looked like, throughout the race. And then the strategies started coming into play, and it fell right into your lap pretty much and helped you get a second place finish and almost win this race.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, we learned some stuff in the Thursday deal. So we were hoping on that long-ish run, I should say. I think it was maybe 45 laps. We were hoping it would stay green, because if you save your tires, they were a lot better. And I'm talking about a lot better, like 25% better than the guys that were running up front. And they were starting to come around. And we were starting to beat the leaders about 2-3 tenths a lap. And then the caution came out. And then we realized you couldn't do that anymore, because we can't make 30 laps in here without crashing.
Unfortunately, but needless to say, I got to ask about that last restart. In my head, I can virtually say this out loud, I think, and not show favoritism. I was yelling at you to turn low when you got the run off turn 2 on Pedro. It looked like you thought about it, and then you stayed in line.
Well, he worked with me on the last 2 restarts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he counted me down right there, so we didn't get, I didn't lose a spot right there, because, points racing.
Right.
And when we come off of 2, basically, when I make a deal with him or anybody in our channel with some stuff like that, I'll give them 1 and 2. That way, you don't just screw somebody over when, they're willing to help you out on a restart,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the way track position is here. So that was why. But dude, when they got loose in front of me, it scared the shit out of me, because I hit him and tried not to. I was trying to stay off of him and still hit him.
Hey.
And I was like, dude, I said, if you wouldn't have counted me down right there, I said, you'd have probably been backwards down the back straightaway.
Like half the field. How much was that surprise there in turn 1?
On the last lap?
Yeah, coming to the finish. Coming to the finish, all of a sudden there's a parking lot.
Yeah, that's I told Pedro, I was like, oh, and then he's checking up. He could see it. I couldn't. All I could see was the back of his car. And then I start to check up to stay off of him, and Calantoni never seen it. He knocked the shit out of me, and we just went barreling through there.
Oh, that's the first time I've ever seen that. But, man, that was crazy. Crazy Bristol race as usual. Second place finish. Great points night. Shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, I got to thank you for broadcasting. You do a great job. And thank Joey and everybody with Sim500 and 811. And thank Trey for ripping this scheme. I'm not sure who painted it originally, but Trey done a good job of putting my name and number on it. And congrats to Pedro. I mean, even if we'd have raced heads up right there, it was going to be hard to beat him. Pedro's good. People don't realize how good he actually is, or I should say, Perdo. He's Perdo in here, and in the B series, he was Pedro Mojic. So, I'm not sure who Mojic was that won like 14 races last year, or this season. But damn, it's people were having some problem, I think, fat fingering the keyboard. So,
it happens. What can I say? Yeah, I think you got Cal Antonio also in the B series, by the way. But yeah, it happens. Great job tonight, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Absolutely. As Chad Coleman finishes second in the race this evening, man. That was, oops, I put in the wrong channel. He's going to get yelled at. Let's get him down to team name before he yells at me. There we go. And let's get our winner up here, as all he does is win, basically, when it's all said and done. Did I get him up here with me, or did I move him to the wrong channel too? Anyways, all right, Pedro, we're good. All right, up here, man, what a race that was. And once again, it seemed like just the strategy fell in your favor there, and you were able to take advantage.
Yeah, Chris, it sure did. I'm honestly kind of surprised I'm even in victory lane. I mean, we had the pace, we were fast, but it was just hard to pass, and then it was also kind of tough to tell, like, we try to save tires at the beginning, didn't do a good job the first run. Second run, felt like I did a better job saving, and was starting to reel in the top 5 or 4 or whatever. And the yellows just kept coming out, so it ended up becoming a track position game and who had the right strategy and just being aggressive. But yeah, it's just like, first half of the race, I just felt like I wasn't in the right spot every time. And, but yeah, just there at the end, we pitted. This is like the second to last time I pitted. I moved up with EJ. We got up to the top 5. Had that incident with EJ. We talked about it. We're all good. That was just unfortunate. But like, the yellow came out. We were going to probably pass those guys. So then we kind of were in a box where it's like, well, it's 40 to go. Like, we're not going to have enough time to get around people. So we need to take our tires. Well, fortunately, a couple guys stayed out, and that really helped me out, honestly. Like, they kind of, from what we learned with the middle of the race where guys took tires and some didn't, you could race the guys with tires on the bottom for a couple laps at least. So that looked like that happened again. Track rubbered in is cooler, so it was a little bit easier to hang on the top. And so I just managed myself up there, let Tyler and Macklin go to the bottom, and just rolled the top and got around them. And I mean, the guys in front of me on older tires did a great job. And I fortunately was able to get ahead of everybody on that cycle, and then, by then I think the guys in front of me were starting to fall off, so I was able to start picking them off one by one. Then that last yellow came out, and once Jose pitted, it was pretty much just set sail from there. Just stay out, have good restarts, and take it home.
Well, great job, man. That was it was definitely a crazy one. Yeah, I asked Chad about it. Coming to the finish line, a little surprised there in turn 1.
Yeah, no, I was not expecting that. I mean, you're going so hard, right? And then you cross the line, and then the next thing you snap out of it. You're like, oh my God, it's a huge wreck. And so luckily I was able to have a car to celebrate. So, but yeah, no, it's a big deal, man. It's Bristol. I like the track. I feel like I do pretty well. It's just like I can't seem to figure out qualifying well enough. And then it just ends up being track position game and being on the right strategy and the right lane on restarts and stuff. And fortunately, it worked out there in the last 40 laps.
And you just continue to kind of put your number on this playoff series so far here. As I look at it, of course, you had those 3 wins in the month of August. You go into September in the playoffs and had some pretty good to pretty decent runs, and now you finally get your first playoff win of the season here at Bristol. Before you go to Texas next week. And then, of course, you got that wild card at Talladega. So, obviously, to gain more points to kind of build yourself a wall, if you will, at Talladega would be pretty nice.
Yeah, I'd say I would think we're pretty close to being clinched for the next round, I would think. I know we were almost 2 races up coming into the night. So, but yeah, I mean, we want to go out and have a good run at Texas, too, just to make sure. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to call them decent runs, finishing second in the first two races of the playoffs and
For
then
your
finishing
standards.
first tonight, like it's, yeah, I mean, definitely, I would say tonight made up for last week
Right.
where I gave up a win. I definitely had that race won and just made a mental error. So, fortunately, that came back tonight, and we were able to be up front and close to the front, and then capitalize when we needed to take the checker flag.
Yeah, obviously, I'm looking at the points now, and 36 points over Parker, 53. You're all the way down to 71 now to Tyler Dalton, and 77 to 11. So yeah, that's, I mean, counting the field that's usually in here. Let's just go with the 30 cars. That's 2 races. So it looks like, yeah, you're pretty much all but locked in, just showing up next week. So that's got to be a pretty good feeling too.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we had a nice cushion coming in. Just wanted to keep up that cushion and expand on it so we can enjoy these 5 races. Because once the next 5 starts, we all get reset. We're all even, and that's pretty much. You better hope you have your best 5 races of the year at the end of the year here. So we're just trying to enjoy it right now.
Absolutely. So keep enjoying those decent finishes, and give a shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, Chris, no, I appreciate you. Appreciate Captain Esports for putting on the broadcast. Hopefully, put on an entertaining race for you and the fans. Um, NC8, NC811, call before you dig. I appreciate them. Apologies to them yesterday. I think I forgot to mention them. They've been such a great sponsor, so appreciate them for everything they do for Sim500 and what they do for Monday nights and what they also did for Sunday nights. So they're big supporters of the league, and they do a lot of they do a lot of good stuff. So appreciate them. Uh, Trans Surface, Glenn Campbell, appreciate him for sponsoring me this year. Let me run. Fortunately, we were able to wrap up that championship last night. Got a victory tonight, and hopefully, we can continue that streak towards the end of the year for them. And Max Graphics, appreciate them for painting the car. All the admins at Civ 500, appreciate everything they do. All the guys on Team Name worked really well there with Chad at the end. I know you needed some points, so kind of make up for some of the bad finishes you had to start the playoffs. So I was trying to help him out a little bit there. So fortunately, he was able to get second. And then, yeah, just appreciate the family for letting me come down and have a little fun for a couple hours tonight.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations. So that's, I mean, obviously not counting the trucks or anything else you might have won in Sim 500 this year, but you got 21 wins in the Cup and Grand National Series combined. So that's got to be something.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, it makes me feel good for sure. I mean, I'm sure I kind of have a target on my back, but it's a great league, man. It's a lot of good racers. So these guys keep me on my toes, even though it might look like I win a lot. Like the guys, everybody on here is competitive and they run hard. So it definitely gets the best out of me. So.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't walk away with every race, put it like that. So it's definitely a challenge, and you never know when a race might throw any kind of obstacle or something like that. So well done, Pedro, man. Congratulations on the win, and 7 now in the season here on the Cup side. And we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, Chris.
All right, buddy. Pedro Mojica, the winner tonight here at Bristol, as he brings up the great point, second and second. I mean, in his world, that's decent finishes, I think. All right, man. What a race that was. Craziness. 7 cautions in the end, so it ended up being fantastic in the end. Strategy coming into play, the different tires, and so much. Just the craziness when it's all said and done. Give me a second here. I will copy and paste the points over here so you can see it. I just have to open up my little app here really quickly. I can get enough people in the window. Down to 20. All right, here we go. Get it saved, and you'll be able to see the point standings literally in 2 seconds. In 1 second, and here it is for you. The point standings entering Texas next week, a Dash for Cash qualifying race, according to the schedule. So we'll see Pedro Mojica lead now, as I mentioned, by 36 over Josh Parker. It is Mike Kelly, 53, back in third. Nelson Rivera, Kevin DeBrown. Those guys looking pretty solid. Chad Coleman, big night tonight, 63, back now in sixth. Jatina right there. So those guys are on the edge still. A good finish at Texas. Hopefully we'll get them that big enough bump to get them up where they don't have to worry about Talladega too much. But as you see, from 6th place down to, we'll call it 16th, you are looking at 23 points separating. And let's add Doug Roth in there, 28 points from 17th up to the 6th spot. So there are a lot of positions available. You get a good finish at Texas next week, and you find a way to survive the carnage at Talladega that comes in 2 weeks, and you'll be sitting pretty and in the top 10 going to the final round of 5. Remember, 10 cars will make the final 5 races. It's basically 5 races, eliminate half, and go another 5. So, and as Pedro mentioned, one key thing, there's no bonus points in the final races of 5. You all start with the even amount of points, and the best 5 win. So, should be a pretty good battle here for these next 7 weeks of racing here on Monday nights on the Captain Esports Network. So looking forward to being back here next week from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. We're out. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.